what is up, you guys? My name is Version1, and welcome back yet again to Reaction Time installment 39. The month of November is here, and we're having a ball, getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting ready to pack on some more pounds because of the holiday season approaching us. Because first we got Thanksgiving, and then we got the wonderfulness of Christmas. Christmas, the wonderful year of the year where old jolly old Saint Nick brings us presents and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to some Hazbin Hotel stuff. This is Helluva Boss and Hazbin Hotel breakdown. The 7 Princes of Hell and their rings explained. I figured, why not? I've been watching. We just watched the last Helluva Boss episode that just dropped. That Vivian Madrano and Vizzy Pop put out a few days ago. That left off on a really weird note, but it's really cool because it is a final part. I don't know if they're going to roll into the next season of Helluva Boss right after, or if it's going to start Hazbin Hotel. I thought I saw somewhere on Twitter that she said that they were going to do Hazbin Hotel after they finished with season 1 of Helluva Boss. I don't know, but I think that's pretty damn cool. But this is going to be the 7 Princes of Hell and their rings explained. So, and this is from Cartoon Universe? Yeah. So I figured, why not? So without further ado, here we go.
In our last video, we talked about the 7 Rings of Hell and explained everything we know about their general lore. There's 7 rings, each one is modeled after one of the 7 deadly sins, and each one has a prince that rules over it that is based on demons from real-life Christian literature. Until recently, which demons ruled over which ring was something of a debate. There are several writings that exist about the 7 Princes of Hell, and each one lists different demons in relation to different sins. Last week, Twitter user Xander reached out to me with a picture of a t-shirt from the Hazbin Hotel merch store, a band tour shirt for Verosika that included not just her performance in Florida from episode 3, but performances in each of the 7 rings, with each ring was also the name of a city or venue, most of which included a reference to popular demon names that match up perfectly with the Peter Binsfield classification of the 7 Princes of Hell, which also matches what we do know about the princes so far in the show. With that in mind, let's break down the 7 different rings of hell.
That also makes sense because in that last episode of Helluva Boss, Verosika was at Aussie's, and Aussie was supposedly the Prince of Lust. And apparently that's what they were saying anyway. So that makes sense because Verosika was at Lust, she was at Aussie's, so, and Osmodeus was Lust, so that's trippy.
Talk about everything we know about them and what we can infer based on who their demonic prince is. First up, the Pride Ring, which is ruled by Charlie's dad, Lucifer. This is the one we know the most about, thanks to both shows taking place there, so I'll just be giving a few key notes on what makes it unique. According to the Helluva Boss Twitter account, it's the only place where Earthborn sinners can exist, and it is the top ring of hell. Its hierarchy is built less around nobility like other rings seem to be, and more around the Earthborn sinners who rise to power instead of inheriting it, though Charlie and Lucifer of course do have power here. One interesting thing of note here is that in a 2020 interview, Vizzy Pop had come out and said that Lucifer is the most powerful person in Hell's hierarchy, and that Charlie and his wife would be below him, and then the 7 princes below them. If the Shark Robot t-shirt is to be believed, the next ring down from Pride would be the Wrath Ring. Verosika performed there in Los Satania, which means City of Satan, a play on Los Angeles, City of Angels. The prince of this ring would of course be Satan, whose only mention so far in the series that I have found was a homeless imp with a sign that said, "Satan bless." There are some theories out there that different species of hell may be native to different rings, an idea brought about by the recent introduction of the succubus, who are so particularly lust-themed that people started speculating that they are native to the lust ring. While Blitz is an imp himself, he claims in a leaked animatic from an upcoming episode that his employees are from the Wrath Ring, seemingly referencing Millie and Moxie. This, paired with that homeless imp's seeming worship for Satan, the Prince of Wrath, makes a lot of fans believe that imps are from the Wrath Ring. It would also explain why the imps, unlike other demons, look the most like generic devils, with red skin and horns, as Satan is generally the demon most often associated with the aesthetic of the devil. That being said, if this is the case, then Hell is a bit like Earth in that immigration, both big and small, has made it so that most of the rings we've seen do have a lot of non-native species living there, the same way that real-life countries have people of all different races living in them now. Based on Stolas and Blitz's conversation in the leaked storyboard, as well as scenes from the trailer, the Wrath Ring appears to be mostly country-based, very rural, and a bit desert-looking. Based on the shirt again, the next ring is Gluttony, which is arguably the one we know the absolute least about. Its mentioned city is Beazelhaven, which matches Binsfield's Beelzebub as the Prince of Gluttony. There's been no in-world references to Beelzebub yet, but in older live streams, VisiPop does mention him, but notes that she doesn't really remember much about him and hasn't really worked out much details. I'm sure more details have been worked out at this time, but we have yet to see them. We've got more rings with more interesting lore to break down, but before we jump into all that, I have two things I would like to tell you today. One, to celebrate 350,000 subscribers, Haley and I will be doing a live stream Q&A this Sunday, March 21st at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. More info is in the description. You can come and ask questions there, or leave them in a comment down below. They can be about us, or our thoughts on your favorite cartoons or other forms of entertainment. As for the second thing, I noticed that Hazbin Hotel's lore can be a bit confusing for fans, as a lot of information comes from obscure behind-the-scenes live streams and such. So to try and fix that, I'm going to put together a Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss frequently asked questions video. Leave any questions you have about the show that you may be confused about down below, and if enough people are asking, we'll do our research and try to get you the answers, or at the very least, provide you with popular theories. Just leave all your questions in the comments down below. Now,
think you could buy me off with a cheap wink and some cheap booze? Well, you're right.
Gluttony, we have Greed, with Veronica performing at Mint City. If I had to guess, this name is not a reference to any demons, but to the minting process of money, as money is generally what we think of when we think of greed. We saw the Greed ring back in episode 2 of Helluva Boss, where it had an almost Earth-like blue sky. Because of this and other shots...
Whoa. Hold up a tickle-ickle-lickin'. What did you just pop up for me? That popped up so damn fast. Or maybe it's green. Feel free to debate. Oh, yeah. What color is it?
Back in episode
it is kind of green.
Of Helluva Boss, where it had an almost Earth-like blue sky. Because of this and other shots from the trailer showing other different colored skies, this seems to indicate
I never thought of that.
The prince of this ring is Mammon, and though we have not seen him in the show, we have reason to believe that he is a jester-themed demon. First and foremost, on a contract that he signed, we can see that he ends his signature with a simple doodle that looks like a jester, with the 3 big points being its hat. Later, when we see the currency of the Greed Ring, there is a jester in the center where real Earth money tends to have famous leaders depicted. These two things combined give us reason to believe that they are designed to look like Mammon himself, though I imagine his true introduction will be a bit more detailed. Blitz claimed to Veronica that the nearest ocean was 3 rings down from where they were in episode 3, which was the Pride Ring, which means that, if this shirt lists the rings in order, Greed also has an ocean. Despite being a prince, Mammon is also a businessman and owns Lululand, which is just a ripoff of Lucifer's Lulu World. His primary goal seems to be owning as much of Hell's currency as he can, and does so through overpriced businesses like Lululand, as opposed to just overtaxation as some sort of prince. Then below that, we have Lust, with Veronica performing at the Crystal Stadium. The Lust ring seems to be the one we've seen the most of in the new teaser trailer from earlier this year. While the name Crystal Stadium doesn't tell me anything, the Binsfield classification calls the Prince of Lust Asmodeus. For those with doubts who prefer other interpretations, notice the giant silhouetted demon, one we presume to be the Aussie mentioned in the signs at the club, seemingly a nickname for Asmodeus. The original Asmodeus is a pretty scary demon with 3 heads, and while this demon is quite a bit different, if you look closely at his silhouette, he does seem to have 3 faces that light up, which look like simple versions of Asmodeus's 3 heads, so I wouldn't be surprised if this turned out not to be the Prince of Lust. As mentioned earlier, if rings have native species, then the succubus, such as the one we saw in episode 3, are likely from this ring. Beneath Lust, we would have the Envy ring, with a location called Leviathan. In Hazbin Hotel, Charlie has an ex-boyfriend named Sephiathan who has been seen in photos around the hotel, with his name being Sephiathan and his father seemingly a powerful demon who was a close friend of Lucifer's. I theorized that, like Charlie's father being the Prince of Pride, that Sephiathan's father was likely named Leviathan and was the Prince of Envy. I have since discovered, thanks to VivziePop's live streams, that his name is actually Harold, and that their family, the Von Eldridge family, are not royalty, but rather are just a powerful family of Earthborn sitters that became overlords, which means that as of now we have not seen or heard anything about the Envy Ring. Leviathan is generally associated with the giant sea monster mentioned in the Bible, so many people believe that this ring will be an entire ocean, or at least have a big ocean in it. Finally, the bottom ring would be Sloth, with its location being Dreamville. There is virtually nothing else to speculate on here, but the prince's name, based on the Peter Binsfield classification, would
So it's
be
really
Belphegor.
fun Alistair scene instead.
That is all the information I have right now, but if you guys have found any information either from live streams or from real-life Christian writings, please leave it in a comment down below, and if it's relevant to the conversation, we might make a video about it. See you next time.
That's pretty dope, dude. You do your research pretty damn good. That's pretty cool. That just cut off real fast too, by the by. No. Stop. Not doing that video right now. We're doing that video either close to the end of the month or for next month. Haven't decided yet. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. That was pretty cool. That was pretty dope. Like I said, I know more about the Lust Ring now because when they were talking about rings, I thought they were talking about actual rings. I think because the 9 circles, the 7 rings of hell. I get it now. The rings are their worlds, which is really trippy. But I didn't really notice that because in the last episode of Helluva Boss that we just got done watching, we did meet Osmodeus, and he is a basically 3-headed demon, similar to what it's in. But that's pretty damn trippy. That was really cool. So, that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit the thumbs up button. I always greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, you can always hit the subscription button and notification bell to be informed every time I upload or stream. Well, I don't know why I say that anymore because I don't really stream it anymore. But this is pretty cool. This is pretty interesting. If you guys have anything else that you want to see, if you want to see or anything you guys want me to react to, put it in the comments down below. If I don't get to it this month, don't worry, I'll get to it in the next months to come because I put it into a playlist called Stuff for Reactions playlist. I'm actually getting it a little bit more fuller because I've been finding some random crap that I've been wanting to put in there as well. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, and peace. Wata.